This is a Restless Music podcast, Shining Rails, Episode 3, by Keith Foster, from his memoir, My Early Days in the Railways.
Most of us who ever started a job amongst working men when we were young and green as grass can recall being sent to get non-existent items such as left-handed screwdrivers, cans of striped paint, etc. In the loco shed in my youth it was the whistlejack. After being referred from one group to another all over a huge loco depot, the frustrated victim might sometimes ask about its use. We use it to jack up a whistle to run another loco under it," was the airy reply, after which all in earshot fell on their backs laughing. Another favourite was helping with exams. Young engine cleaners got in a few hours' practice at firing and then had to do a bit of theory. This consisted of the first half of the Red Book. Basic questions were asked regarding boiler management, hand, light and whistle signals, railway safe working, general safety and loco equipment. Much later came the second half. Each loco needed some necessary items such as shovel, bucket, banister brush, coal hammer and a slide hook. If one item was missing, the trainee fireman's job was to grab another from the nearest loco in the shed. All drivers loved their billy of tea and got very upset if anything interfered in this matter. This brings us back to the slide hook, about a metre-long length of 20mm steel rod bent into a hook at one end and a grip ring at the other. Its primary purpose when used from the ground was to withdraw the ashpan slides outwards to empty the ashpan, usually when over the ash pit. However, on the road it was used to dangle the tea billy in the fire-hole door when stops were made for longer than a few minutes, such as for engine requirements. The slide hook, therefore, was always referred to as a billy boiler. Back in the shed in the lunchroom, fitters, boilermakers and other shed staff, and sometimes the occasional engine crew, were all ready to ask the greenhorn questions from his forthcoming Red Book oral exam. After a few genuine questions, they got around to, "What is the first and foremost duty of a fireman?" The correct answer was something along the lines of, "To ensure the safety of the travelling public at all times." The victim would give his version of the answer to be told "no" each time he tried a new one. In frustration he would ask, "What is it then?" To which the assembled multitude would shout in chorus, "See, there's a billy boiler on the engine." Back in the late 1930s, as an engine cleaner / trainee fireman at Ballarat East Loco, after a prescribed number of hours firing, mostly on yard pilots, I had to put in 3 weeks' instruction firing for an elderly instructor driver whose name was Albert Clack. An appropriate name for an engine man, as there is a clack valve, or non-return valve, in locomotive boiler feed water systems. We worked a week on each of Albert's rosters, goods, mixed and passenger trains. Albert was a real gentleman of the old school, no harsh words and a good mate, but I fear I ruffled his feathers on our first day together. As you know, firing efficiently and economically, particularly in full size, is to fire light and often and only in the bright spots of the fire. This gives better combustion of the coal with minimum black smoke. The bright spot part is easier said than done on a bucking, speeding steam loco. Lucky to even get it in the fire-hole door at first. Being young and willing, I was determined to show what I could do, piling on coal and firing with far more enthusiasm than skill. Not knowing the road, I would have a green fire on when Albert closed the regulator to roll. No blower on, black smoke everywhere, soot all over the cab and the floor, covered in spilt coal dust. Still, I plugged on with great determination. Albert didn't say much that first day. After a long and arduous return trip, we arrived back at the loco shed, put the engine in the siding, and trudged up the track with black soot all over our faces. We were hailed by a shedman named Sam Daggett, who was always ready to stop to chat. Sam put down his barrow and grease scraper and said, "Hello, Albert. How's your new mate going? Will he ever make a fireman?" Albert wiped grime from his face, took a long puff on his pipe, considered, and quietly replied, "He would, Sam," then exploded, "If only I could hide the bloody coal." I got the message. In 1937, I worked at Newport Railway workshops in the smithy, driving steam hammers. Some 20 blacksmiths, their strikers, several other hammer drivers and I toiled here in our grimy surroundings amid the smoke, the smell of hot metal and burning coke, the roar of oil furnaces, banging of hand and sledgehammers, the heavy pounding of steam hammers and the blast of their exhausts. One old blacksmith made chains, meticulously hand-forging and fire-welding links on his anvil to produce a beautifully uniform chain of the required length. In idle moments I would watch his careful work, and he would say in his cracked old voice, "Son, one day a man's life may depend on this chain." With all the accumulated ignorance of my 16.5 years, I would think, but never dare say, "Silly old goat, what would he know?" Chain in those days was made of the material wrought iron, not the scroll work we see today on railings and gates, which is mild steel. The material wrought iron is prone to work harden and can snap in cold weather, particularly if there is the slightest blemish. Lifting chains every 6 months had to be heated and left to cool to normalise them. Chain today is made in either mild or alloy steel, the links being formed and electrically butt-welded in automatic machines at the rate of a link each second, and does not have this problem. Now, what has all this to do with our main interest, steam locomotives? Well, 2 or 3 years older but a bit wiser, I was firing them. To perform a hand exchange of staffs, and with the waist-high safety chain slung between engine and tender on either side. If it had broken, I would have been catapulted from a speeding locomotive into whatever we happened to be passing. Fortunately for me, one never broke, but I often heard the voice of that old man, the chainsmith. One lives and learns. I drove a steam hammer in the railway workshops in 1937 with 20 blacksmiths, many strikers, more like hell than heaven. Roar of furnace, pounding hammers, one man making chains, forged by hand on the anvil, every link the same. Link by link, link by link, in the smoke and steam and flame, amid the roar of the furnaces, every link the same. One day, my son, a life may ride upon this chain I make. Each link I weld with care, each chain is strong for that life's sake. Link by link, link by link, in the smoke and steam and flame, amid was a fireman 3 years on. Those words were etched inside my brain, while hand exchanging staffs, my whole weight on a safety chain that never broke, that never slipped, that always took the strain. I bless that careful chainsmith who kept me on the train. Link by link, link by link, in the smoke and steam and flame, amid the roar of the furnaces, every link the same. Link by link, link by link, in the smoke and steam and flame, amid the roar of the furnaces, every link the same.
You have been listening to Shining Rails, Episode 3, Link by Link, by Keith Foster, from his memoir, My Early Days in the Railways, written for the newsletter of the Steam Locomotive Society of Victoria. Keith Foster was a Victorian railwayman, musician, writer and community broadcaster. Narration and production by Roger Eilert. The song Link by Link was written and performed by Penny Davies and Roger Eilert. This has been a Restless Music podcast.